Welcome to the News at Noon. I'm Will Hopper.
And I'm Anna Mahan. Thanks for joining us.
The University of North Alabama has been struggling to find funding. UNA has historically lacked state funding. In 2017, UNA received $28.2 million. Jacksonville State received $38 million. UNA actually had 632 more students than Jacksonville that year. UNA is forced to look to its alumni for funding. UNA raised over $36 million with their Build the Pride campaign. This campaign started in 2016 and it reached its $35 million goal in 2018. The president of UNA, Ken Kitts, believes that UNA is just too far away from Montgomery. Kitts is quoted by the Times Daily as saying, "If this doesn't change and we remain so badly underfunded, it will threaten the survival of this school in the long term." Kitts is implementing Project 208, the plan to secure greater state funding. The project gets its name from the amount of miles between UNA and Montgomery. Project 208 involves student projects moving to Division I and simply having a presence in Montgomery. Kitts plans to remind elected officials that UNA is valuable to the state of Alabama.
With UNA still trying to finish the new nursing building, they are currently on the search for funding. Here's Colton Partain with the story.
UNA's ambitious plan to develop a new building specifically dedicated to the students with nursing majors has hit another roadblock. Originally, Michael Gottney, UNA's Assistant Vice President of Facilities Administration and Planning, had hoped that the design would be completed by March 2018 and that construction was supposed to finish August 2018. However, the original design for the building was sent back as it exceeded the budget by $7 million, and construction was estimated to finish sometime during 2019. Now we know that the current design still exceeds the budget by $8 million. While nursing students have been reassured that construction will finish on time, there is no news on how UNA will make that money. Until then, nursing courses continue to be taken in Stevens Hall. And while the building isn't terrible, it's certainly crowded.
The University of North Alabama Opera presents Starry Night. This one-night-only performance, accompanied with live music from the Huntsville Youth Orchestra and featuring works from the UNA film, photography, and fashion merchandising programs, will be a night to remember. Musical pieces by Mozart, Jock Offenbach, and a musical adaptation of the children's book Goodnight Moon are just some of the songs that will be sung by both UNA staff and students. This performance will take place Friday, March 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the Norton Auditorium. Ticket prices are adults $15, faculty and staff $10, and students and children 17 and younger for $5. Tickets may be purchased at the School of Arts box office, online at the UNA Opera Starry Night Facebook page, or at the door. So come and experience Starry Night, an enchanting evening of arias and art.
As spring ball is approaching, many of you are probably wondering what's in store for the University of North Alabama football team. UNA recently went D1 and are in the Atlantic Sun Conference. We had the opportunity to ask Matthew Markham, a UNA football alum, a few questions on the upcoming season. Matthew unfortunately could not make it here this morning, but was kind enough to give us a statement on his thoughts. As for his opinions on the team moving to D1, the Atlantic Sun Conference, and their upcoming season, here's what he had to say. Last year, the community asked us about the same thing multiple times. Do you think this is a growing period? And honestly, it really bothered all of us as a team and as a staff. This is UNA. We've been competitive in every sport as long as I can remember. We went into this season with a chip on our shoulder and said we were going to have a winning season, and we did. UNA did a fantastic job building a culture of accountability and brotherhood last year, and that will definitely carry over into the next season. This next year will be a true test. The entire schedule is D1 opponents, so it has the potential to be a tougher season, but I wouldn't count UNA out. There's something very special building in that locker room, and they're going to be led by the returning offensive coordinator and returning quarterback, who both have that chip on their shoulder mentally and have leadership abilities. To hear that from a UNA alumni of the program gives high hopes to UNA for the season.
UNA athletics are expanding even further as beach volleyball is a welcomed addition. The team is made up of mostly girls that played indoor volleyball for UNA. It is challenging for them as beach volleyball is different from indoor. The courts are a little smaller than indoor courts. There are only 2 players per side, and the ball is actually lighter. These differences will take time to get used to, and these student athletes get the opportunity to travel to different beach settings. The team will get to compete in the FAU Beach Bash and break into the Florida beach volleyball scene. That tournament takes place in Boca Raton, Florida, and will start on March 22nd. The girls won't be forced to go to the beach locations though, as UNA has built 3 new beach volleyball courts. Coach Bob White made a few statements on the courts, and he said, "UNA has done a great job of building us 3 professional courts. And I think by the time we get to our first game in March, it's going to look very beautiful, very Division I. The courts allow for tournaments in the future and give UNA more of a Division I presence."
UNA's 21st annual George Lindsay Film Festival will be happening March 1st through the 3rd right here in Florence. To give us more information on the festival, here's film professor and festival coordinator Michael Johnson.
The George Lindsay Film Festival has been going on for 22 years. It was founded by George Lindsay, who is an actor from these shows, the Andy Griffith Show. He also played in MASH. He was also a UNA alumni. And he basically started the festival 22 years ago to help independent filmmakers in Alabama and to hopefully bring film production to Alabama as well. And so we've been doing it for 22 years, and I've been working on the festival for the last 3 as the co-chair with Cynthia Burkhead. We're going to have film screenings, we're going to have panelists, we're going to have special guests like Academy-nominated screenwriter Will Fetters, who was just recently nominated for A Star is Born, Nancy Stafford, an actress who was in the television show Matlock, as well as filmmakers from across the country and really across the globe will be coming in to screen their films and do Q&As at the festival as well. The main sort of prize is a $2,000 prize, which is the Clyde Black Sweet Home Alabama Award, which is a $2,000 prize for the best film produced in Alabama. We welcome anyone to come out this year for the George Lindsay Film Festival. I think it's a great way to expose independent cinema to the Shoals community and to the UNA students, and I just think you'll have a great time being involved. So come out, see some screenings, volunteer if you've got the time, and get ready for some great cinema.
And moving on to the weather, today is currently 51 and will be a high of 72. It's partly sunny. By around 12, we'll have 68 degrees and mostly sunny. Tomorrow we'll see a drop in the temperature, but at least it's not raining.
The UNA Theater Department's most recent production, A Lesson Before Dying, has been met with positive responses. The performances lasted 5 days with 7 performances in total, each of which had a large audience, especially the final performance, which was sold out. Late audience members had to stand due to the lack of seating. After most performances, there was a Q&A session where audience members were able to ask the director and actors questions pertaining to the performance. One such question was, "Why this play?" And the director, Charlton James, stated, "I was in the audience for the first ever performance of this play after it was adapted from the book. A few years later, I was cast as Paul and lived through the development of the production. It's always been with me, and I've always been waiting for the right group of people to do it again. And this year I thought to myself, yes, I've found them. This play is also very relevant today, and I wanted to make sure its message about service was out for people to see."
Spring semester calls for another election season at UNA, and it's time for a new term of student government officers. Last week, students voted on the new SGA candidates for the 2019-2020 academic year, but after 2 months of campaigning, 2 candidates will participate in a runoff. Candidates Jesse Harbuck and Sam Mashburn will go head-to-head one last time for the final vote of student president. Voting opened back up last Monday and will close tonight at 6 p.m. However, the rest of the candidates have been chosen. Here are your 2019-2020 SGA officers. Congratulations to Lyndon White, Vice President of University Program Council, Rebecca Matthews, Vice President of Senate, Charlie Gordon, SGA Secretary, Austin Knight, SGA Treasurer.
It's noon, and you've heard the news. Join us tonight at 5 for the Late Night News. Have a great day.